next work function? Or maybe you need a place to bring the whole family for a delicious meal. Pomodoros of Mooresville has the perfect space for your crowd. Book your next event at pomodoros.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC. Whatever the story,
we have to end our dependence on China.
Have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
And good morning. This is Cornelius, Mayor Woody Washam, and we are happy to be with you today at the WSIC Cornelius studio. It's a great day in the neighborhood today, and we are about town. And this is an interesting about town session, one that really hadn't had on the show. I'm at a little over a year experience in doing this show, and one of the important things that we haven't talked about in our community is what we do in our schools when school is getting ready to start from a officer standpoint, and how we inject all of that into actually protecting our schools. So that's kind of what this is about. And we have two of our wonderful school resource officers here today, and they have got some stories for everybody to jump on and enjoy, I'm sure. So many of you folks out there will recognize these names because they've been household names for quite a while now. First of all, it's School Resource Officer Patrick Maldarelli.
Maldarelli. What's up, guys?
Yeah, there you go. I just call him Officer Patrick. So anyway, but he's going to challenge me for that last name.
Oh,
so
he will.
It's just like Officer Vinnie.
He
That's
will.
right.
Challenges me too.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then we have School Resource Officer Jermail Rucker, and two popular folks. Like I say, in our four schools here, these are two of our four school resource officers, and Officer Patrick is at Hough High School, and Officer Rucker is at the J.V. Washam Elementary School, my namesake. So
The best.
there
school in
you
the
go.
town,
Now we
if I
got
may
a little,
add.
now we're gonna have a little battle going on today.
Yeah.
That is for sure. So anyway, you guys have been around. Patrick, I know you've been around. I see you on your bicycle all the time.
I know.
Pupping
I know.
around town. It's a great opportunity to stop and talk to you, and there's a lot of community relations involved with what you do. Both
Sure.
of you do.
Definitely.
But you're never off duty, I don't think, as we see you out and about. So Patrick, how long you been doing this? How long have you been in the Cornelius Police Force?
So I've been with the town of Cornelius for almost 17 years.
Wow.
I'm originally from South Florida, the Fort Lauderdale area. I've been here since 2007. Went through basic law enforcement training at Mitchell Community College up in Statesville. And I got hired on by Cornelius and have been here ever since then.
So you've probably done about every aspect of policing in the Cornelius Police Department, haven't you?
Well, I primarily did patrol. I was on patrol for about 8.5 years, and then the opportunity came available to become the school resource officer at Bailey Middle School. So I was at Bailey Middle for about 4 years, and this was during the height of COVID. And then the opportunity came available to become the SRO over at Hough High School. And this is like my fourth full-time year at Hough.
Wow, that's quite a story. And I know the longer you stay at these places, the kids kind of get attached to you, don't they?
That's right. That's right. I mean, I've seen kids when they first started 6th grade up to graduation, and I've just seen how throughout the years they've developed, they've grown, and how they ultimately become adults.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So Officer Rucker, you
yes, sir.
are a rock star
Ooh, no.
in this town.
It's too much pressure, man.
I
don't
know
like
you,
it.
man.
I don't like it.
I see you out and about, and you are a rock star. Recently, we had a little session, if you will, at Carolina Cones,
Yes,
which
sir.
was sponsored by the police department. And, I mean, the kids were just flocking to Officer Rucker there. It's pretty amazing. But how long have you been around? How long have you been in this police work?
Definitely half of Maldarelli's years.
There you
I've been
go.
in for about August 28th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, to be my 8th year.
Wow,
So,
it's my birthday.
August 28th?
Yes.
You know, I knew it was something great about J.B. Washam and then that year starting.
It's all coming together.
It's coming together. I don't know what it means, but something great's happening.
Yeah.
So yes, it'll be 8
absolutely.
years then. I'm from Statesville as well. That's also where I went to Mitchell for my my police education. So graduated in, what was it? I think it was May of 2016. Got hired on in August, and ever since then it's smooth sailing.
There you go. That is quite interesting. So, you know, it's quite a process to prepare. I would think for a job like you're doing, it's a little different, isn't it? And how would you describe the difference between just being a regular officer and a school resource officer?
I think a lot of people, when they get into law enforcement, they're like, oh, you know, I want to save lives, or they'll think about kicking butt, taking names. But it's definitely another aspect to it. The community relation is huge. You know, whether it's the bad guys that you're locking up or the good folks that you're going to save, if you are showing good community relations, I've had plenty of the so-called bad guys or bad girls tell me a lot of information or help me out with situations that we had no idea on just because of the way I treat them or the relationship that we have. Right. So it's almost like they say, don't beat a horse with a stick, or don't beat a stick with a dead horse, however the saying going. If you don't do it, you know, they'll end up helping you. But if someone knows they did wrong and you're telling them how much they did wrong and you're just beating them with it, they're probably going to go against resenting you, and you'll have a hard time anytime you run into them.
Right. Well, that certainly makes sense. And Officer Rucker is part of some additions that the town board, I'm very proud of this, made to the police staff a couple of years ago. And that was to add school resource officers to our elementary schools. And I think it was really a shame that we didn't have those. We couldn't convince the county to help us fund the elementary schools because they either didn't see the need or didn't have the money. Right. Probably a combination of each. But we saw the need here in Cornelius, and fortunately, my board agreed with that, and we were able to add these 2 positions to our police force. And I'm so proud of that because you hear stories around the country that are so scary, and they're very real too. And that brings what you do at our elementary schools really to life.
Yes.
So to not have you there, I think, is a real hole in our community. But we have 4 great schools in Cornelius that I'm really, really proud of. And you know, the rest of the story is we all need school resource officers to protect our children at these 4 great schools that we have. So that certainly makes a difference. And wasn't a hard decision for me, but you know, it seems to be always about money. Well, sometimes you've got to get past that and do the right thing for your community. And I know without a question that we certainly did the right thing in that case. So we're going to talk more about that and how we can help you do your job. And we want to know what your job's like too. So with that, this is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we will be right back.
Back with more of About Town, hosted by Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam. Straight ahead on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, still some great weather for our Thursday. The low humidity hangs around for another day. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will be comfortable, climbing into the mid-80s for the afternoon. As we get into Friday and into the weekend, the humidity comes back, as well as that low summertime-like chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Weekend, though, is in pretty good shape. Mid-80s, a little sticky, but most of your outdoor plans should remain dry. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like iCats Public Transit.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Langtree Live in Mooresville continues their free Thursday concert series with the Rocky Lynn Band on August 15th. Rocky brings his original and patriotic country music performance to Langtree Lake Norman off exit 31 from I-77. Grab your lawn chairs, set up your spot on the grass, eat and drink at the restaurants and pubs of Langtree, and enjoy the Rocky Lynn concert Thursday at 7 p.m. RevFast in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. This monthly gathering for the car, truck, and motorcycle communities begins at 6 p.m. Food trucks and Hoptown Brewing will be on hand for eats and drinks. Bring your classic or new hot rod out and come make some new friends. RevFast Detail Shop in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. The Cookout Monster Truck Bash is at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway this Saturday. Sparks will fly as the metal-bashing 2,000 horsepower machines return for a night of high-flying action on the planet's most diabolical outdoor course. Gates open at 4 p.m. Bring a Cookout Cup for free early access to the pit party beginning at 3:30. Pit party includes monster truck rides, inflatable slides, bounce houses, face painting, an autograph session, and souvenirs. Opening ceremonies will begin at 7. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com or the CMS app for information and details. Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville rocks their parking lot this Sunday with a concert by Black Glass. Waves Entertainment brings their stage and sound to Ghostface for a show by Carolina's premier rock and roll cover band. The brewery will be open to serve their full kitchen and draft beer menus. Rock the Lot begins at 5 p.m. Bring your chairs for a good seat at the 6 p.m. Black Glass concert at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville this Sunday. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
We are back with more of About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Good morning again. Welcome back. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we have had a great addition to our group today. Not only do we have two of our four community resource officers, we have the head of our community engagement efforts here in Cornelius, Officer Vinnie DiGerolamo. Did I say it right?
That's correct.
I've been practicing.
That's right.
I've been practicing. I've got
pretty close.
Two long last names in here today.
Close.
So
yeah,
you know, we got it right. That's a great thing. So we're going to shorten that to Officer Patrick and Officer Vinnie.
There we go.
I can handle that.
See, I'm so simple. I'm sorry for these two.
Yeah. Yeah, you're pretty simple there. So welcome, Vinnie, and I know you're just off a great event here in town, National Night Out. Yes. We had a great event, a little bit of threatening weather from the hurricane, but it worked out great. It's a beautiful night, perfect temperatures, and you guys did a great job with that. And
Thank you.
you know, it was a little threatening, probably kept a few folks away, but man, the ones that were there, I know we all enjoyed it. I know I did. So
Yes.
thank you for doing that.
Oh, sure.
And those things don't just happen. And we've got a lot of other good things coming up that we're going to get back to you and talk about here before the show's over today. But back to our school resource function. So tell me what a typical day for a school resource officer is. It may be a little different at the high school level than it is at the elementary level, but I just want to hear about that. It's something I'm interested in, and I think I know what you're going to say, but I'm not sure. So, but describe your day. We'll start with the young kids. Officer Rucker, what's your day like? When does it start?
7:15 is when the first bell rings to let them inside the school. Man, I tell you, you are either 100% high or 100% low. But you have to carry the energy with those kids the entire day. I now look back and wonder how my mom took care of the three of the nut jobs that she raised, because dealing with the hundreds that we have in the school, I'm like, man, my mom, she was a rock star because she was by herself, took care of three of us, and did a lot of things herself. So just imagining the parents with a lot of these kids they have kind of makes me look up to parenthood. But it's fun, man. It's fun. I love it. there's no specific day-to-day things that goes on. Just they're young kids, they're going to be kids. So
So do they come hang out with you and all that good stuff?
Some I'll go read books. Sometimes I'll go in and act like I'm being the teacher, and they blow up, and they love every moment of it. Whether we're outside playing basketball or in the gym or racing, whatever it is, it's a fun day-to-day experience. Right. And being able to actually have some parents, appreciate the fact that they see that their kids really look up to me, or whether it's like a big brother aspect or however they look up to me. Mm-hmm. I know for myself, back in the day, I would sometimes listen to my coach and be more afraid to upset my coach than my mom.
Right.
So I kind of look at it in that aspect that sometimes the outside source for a kid to see that they care for them makes them kind of realize more like, oh, I don't want to upset them.
Exactly.
They're doing this for my best interest.
So how does that translate into helping the future of law enforcement and those kind of things? What do you think about that?
I don't think it's a surprise that, nowadays or, the past couple of years that people have an issue with law enforcement for whatever reasons that they seem was necessary. Whether it come from something they see on TV or just bad experiences that they were in a car with their parents or whatever it may have been. But for them to see the light from an officer that's at the school that they are with daily and see him as police Rucker and just regular Rucker and being able to have a relationship and know that I can talk to him about anything.
Exactly.
He's not just police. I'm not going to get in trouble by saying, I don't know, like run up and give me a hug. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Like, it's fine. It's cool. I want to give you a hug as well. So to build that relationship and let them know, like, if I can trust him and the people that he brings into the school seem like good guys as well or good girls as well,
right,
then any officer I run into might be like Officer Rucker. And so it's just more of an insight of, man, I want to meet all of the officers now because they're all probably great versus see one bad experience and think, oh, all the officers are terrible.
Gotcha. Well, that will go deep into a kid, I'm sure, and probably make a difference. I'm sure it'll make a difference. So, Officer Patrick, your world's a lot different.
It is a lot different.
I believe that. So, give us a description of what your day's like as at the Hough High School.
So, my day typically when I come in, get traffic moving. So we start our day a little bit earlier at 6:45.
So y'all have those teen drivers.
We have teen drivers. We have parent drivers. We have 30-plus buses coming in. We have a lot of people that also walk, that park in private parking lots along Bailey Road. I have 2 traffic officers that are posted outside. Obviously want to make sure that that's filled. And then once the bell rings, allowing the students to come inside of the school, we have evolves or metal detectors at several different entrances at the school, and remaining visible when the bell first rings in order to allow the students in, checking bathrooms, ensuring that things are safe. What I have discovered is a lot of the issues that happened the previous day. Usually there'll be some type of confrontation early in the morning, and that could be just a simple verbal conversation. It could be a physical confrontation. So I want to be as visible as possible. After the first bell rings, usually get a little bit of time that if there's anything I need to investigate or follow up on, or parent or student I need to talk with, I'll do so at that time. And we have one more block, and then usually there's a class change, and then we're rolling into lunches and just being visible. That's so much of what I do, is being visible, giving the students the impression that I'm everywhere on the campus, even though that's physically not possible. And then it's amazing how quickly our day finishes at 2:15, and then it's running into the traffic, dismissal, getting everyone off campus, and then running into a lot of the sporting events that we have at the school after school, and ensuring that those positions are filled by officers that are working off duty for those events.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. So it sounds like that you have more of a disciplinary effect on the kids as far as the high school level is concerned. It's more of a relationship and fun time at the elementary schools. Maybe your role's a little more serious. Is that true or not?
I would describe it more as like a mentorship. So the primary function of a school resource officer in any school. I mean, first and foremost, we're law enforcement officers, but then there's also an element of us being an educator, right? And then also to add to that, us being a counselor. So what I have found at working at a high school, you're putting on different hats depending on the situation. An example of that is if you have a student that's engaged or has done something of a criminal nature, obviously I'm investigating as a law enforcement officer, but I may have a kid that is about to graduate and really has no clue concerning what they're going to do once they graduate. And that's where I take on more of a mentorship role where I'm, developing that relationship and that rapport to where they feel comfortable talking to me about things that affect them in their life. And then there's also that educational piece where it's amazing how many young people I encounter that for whatever reason think that marijuana is legal. And I have to tell them, like, no,
sir.
It's not legal. So there's that educational piece to what I do as well.
So that was a topic I really wanted to visit, and I'm glad you brought that up because there's often news that we hear about drug issues going on in our school.
Sure.
The fentanyl certainly is top of the most serious list I know, but at the same time, I guess my question is, how real is that? I mean, I believe it's real, but what's your experience with it?
So, and I want to be very clear about this. I think Hough is a great school. It's a safe school, and it's a small percentage of students I feel that are engaged in it, and we sincerely do everything in our power to prevent it from being on campus. We try to be as proactive as possible. That means checking bathrooms. If we receive any type of information concerning a student having drugs on campus, we immediately search them. The staff will immediately search them. We want to send the message that we are not going to tolerate any type of drug on campus. So this last year, we had several educational lectures that students participated in at school. We had our canine officers do random searches throughout schools. So, I want to be clear about that. Now, is there stuff on campus? Sure. But we do everything we can to prevent it. We want to create an environment where students think twice about bringing any type of illicit substances on our campus.
Yeah, it sounds like you're being way proactive, and that's the only way to do it. You can't assure that there's zero. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You absolutely won't ever know. How many students are at Hough now?
So we typically range from 2,600 to 2,700 students. Wow. Typically.
Yeah, that's a credible number.
It is.
A lot of people think that's overcrowded. Do you view it as that?
I don't.
They handle it pretty well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, Hough has got a great reputation in the community throughout the state.
Sure.
It's a powerhouse, for academics as well as for our athletic programs.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's quite a story, and I tell groups this because I'm proud of it. Mr. Hough was my high school principal. North Mac, and what a great guy he was.
Yeah, I've heard great things about him.
What a great namesake that school is named after. And I was sweating that it wouldn't get there, but it did, and it's a great source of pride here in our community.
Nice.
This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and you're About Town, and we'll be right back.
More About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam. Coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, still some great weather for our Thursday. The low humidity hangs around for another day. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will be comfortable, climbing into the mid-80s for the afternoon. As we get into Friday and into the weekend, the humidity comes back, as well as that low summertime-like chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Weekend, though, is in pretty good shape. Mid-80s, a little sticky, but most of your outdoor plans should remain dry. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Crosswhite Law in Statesville cares. Here to serve you and your family's needs in elder law, estate planning, and estate administration. Call Crosswhite Law today, 704-873-7233.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, friends. This is Dwight with Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, inviting you to join the Gullion family and staff in praising the Lord for 30 years of providing you with trustworthy and inspiring books, Bibles, music, gifts, and supplies. We so appreciate your support and friendship over all these years. With locations in King and Statesville, North Carolina, visit us again soon for encouraging fellowship and essential provisions for your Christian life. Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, where the Bible stands.
DrumLandscapeSupply.com. DrumLandscapeSupply.com. DrumLandscapeSupply.com.
Honey, what are you doing?
Oh, I figured if I rubbed my lawn and said DrumLandscapeSupply.com, I'd have the dream lawn I've always wanted.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The strain of a hurricane on the Texas power grid and the disruption it caused to factories help explain a worse-than-forecast reading of July U.S. industrial production, which fell 0.6%. Factory output was halted after Hurricane Beryl barreled through eastern Texas early in the month and caused a massive power outage for millions of homes and businesses. Today's report showing a stronger-than-forecast jump in July U.S. retail sales, suggesting the consumer might be in better shape than feared, is helping Wall Street, Dow up almost 1%, S&P up 1.25%, NASDAQ rising almost 2%. Here's an investment idea you will not hear from your financial planner, because it's a bad idea. New research finds that online sports betting is becoming so popular so quickly, turning into a multi-billion-dollar business, that Americans appear to be yanking money out of their stock brokerage accounts to fund their online betting. Study authors at Brigham Young say the trend is most acute among the nation's already most financially strained households. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Call now to speak with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam at 844-STUDIO-4. It's About Town on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
And we're back. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam right here. And About Town is traveling down to the schools, which are getting ready to open. When do schools open, officers? I know y'all know that.
26th of this month.
Oh, wow.
Monday.
So we're talking Monday, right?
It's coming quick.
Yeah, not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday.
Yeah, there you go. So what kind of training do y'all have to do to specialize in school resource officer type work? How does that come about?
I'm going to let the old head take this one.
Okay.
The old head. That's funny. So at the least, minimum 40-hour school resource officer program through the North Carolina Justice Academy. And then there's additional training that a school resource officer takes throughout the year. And most SROs typically also attend the North Carolina School Resource Officer Association conference, and there's some training that's available through that as well.
Yeah, so I had I guess it was last week, maybe a couple of weeks ago. You know, if there's anything going on in town, guess who gets the phone calls?
Hey, Mr. Washam. Hey, Mr. Washam.
Yeah. What's going on out there, Mayor?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, you know, I'm not an active police officer, but I am mayor, and I can't turn those questions away, but I do get them. Often I tell the chief that I'm sorry to bug him, but people are calling, folks.
Right.
So one of the calls I got was there was evidently a drill going on at Cornelius Elementary with your SWAT team. And so there were officers running around everywhere. Well, you know, the neighbors sitting there going, what in the world is happening at the school? So anyway, so is that part of what y'all do, or is that bigger than that?
So that's particular instance wasn't the SWAT team. That's just like a regular thing that our PD do each year.
Oh,
It's
gotcha.
rapid deployment. So last year was at my school, and this year was at Cornelius Elementary. And it pretty much is like, you know, if considering what's happened in today's events, if some idiot decides to go into school and want to cause harm, we're going to make sure that we're bringing the harm down on you before you harm one of these little ones.
There you go.
You know, hoping to God that we don't have to do any of that.
Right.
But if the instances come, we want to be as prepared as possible versus not having these educational moments. And then it happens and we're like, wait, what do I do?
Right, exactly.
But, now the SWAT team does do stuff, and that gets a little crazier, but it's fun. It's fun. It's definitely a fun time.
Well, as soon as one of these incidents around the country happens, then the questions start coming. They really start rolling out to your electeds. It's just the nature of the beast, and citizens don't know. They don't know how prepared our police force really is. So they come. I've heard them come to town board meetings and speak during citizens' comments and concerns. And they really don't know. I've got a lot of confidence in the preparation that you guys have toward events like that. But our public doesn't know. Probably is a good idea to make folks a little more aware of all that, particularly as we begin this school year.
Right.
So that's just the mayor's opinion, for whatever that's worth. So anyway, but it does come up, and you know, if things are pretty calm, which they have been for a little while. But surely, as we're sitting here, something else will happen. Pray to God it doesn't.
Oh God!
But chances are it will, and that's too bad, too sad. It really is. So, Officer Vinnie, tell us a little bit about the school resource program that we have here in Cornelius. I know we have two of the community resource officers or school resource officers here with us. But there's more, right?
Yes, that's correct. So, and thank you for bringing that up. I wanted to recognize Officer Baxter Rowe. He is the school resource officer at Cornelius Elementary School, and we have a new SRO at Bailey Middle School. His name is Officer Mike Raballo. So he'll be starting on the first day of class. But we were so fortunate, you know, and again, we're so grateful that the town was able to, you know, give us the 2 extra SROs when we really needed them, because at one time, just 2 years ago, we only covered Bailey Middle School and Hough. And now we're so fortunate that we have Officer Rucker over at JV Washam, and we have Officer Rowe over at Cornelius Elementary.
Right.
We are so confident that each one of these officers will be able to, again, not only build the relationships and the mentorships that we need for these young, these young people, but their responsibility is to protect everybody in that school. They, hands down, do an amazing job. We, as a police department, I know our chief, our deputy chief, our sergeant, everyone involved are 100% confident that these officers will be ready and willing if anything, God forbid, should happen. But at the same time, on your typical normal day, they just do a fantastic job in their other duties. So we're very, very happy, with that. And again, I do want to, recognize Officer Raballo and Rowe, who couldn't be here because they're actually in training.
Yeah.
So, the training is ongoing. So that's something that's super important, especially on that school level.
So the schools aren't open every day because of summer vacation or holidays and all that throughout the year. So what do you guys do? Just hang around home in your smoking jackets?
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. I'm going to come hang out with you if there ever is a time I can do that.
Mayors doesn't do that. I'm too busy. But anyway, what do y'all do?
So I honestly, first year doing it was this past year, and I thought, really have an idea of what was going on throughout the summertime, except for some camps. But I actually learned that there's camps that it's at my school almost every day throughout the year, except for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so since then, I've been doing basketball camps or volleyball camps at JV Washam. And I've had kids from Huntersville. I've had kids from Davidson. I have kids from Cornelius Elementary and JV who happen to come to the camps and see me. And, my kids will yell my name. And then the kids from Cornelius will be like, oh, I've heard that from Officer Rowe. And so it's just a friendly battle between who's the best elementary SRO at that point. But other than that, I'll help Officer Maldarelli with bike camps sometimes. And so it's a busy summer. It's never really a free summer, I would say.
Gotcha.
Kids are school year and in summertime.
Yeah, that's interesting. Be sure and check with the Kane Center too. I bet they have summer camps all along too. So
yes, sir.
That would be a good resource for you to hang out and pop in from time to time.
It'll be fun.
I think they're just finishing up their summer session, and it was quite well attended, I understand. So
oh yeah.
Another group that you could probably serve pretty well, and they would love it. Absolutely love it. So back to Officer Vinnie. Where do we go with this program from here? We talked about a need in a high school of 2,700 kids. Is one school resource officer enough? I tend to think not. What do you feel about that, Pat?
I would agree with that. I could certainly use another officer. There are days where I'm literally running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm so busy. And as a police officer, there's strength in numbers. When my backup is 5 to 10 minutes away, and I obviously want the officer to be closer. If I have a fight that I'm having to break up, as an example, and it's just me, and I have a 6'2" kid that outweighs me by 100 pounds, fighting another kid that's of a similar size, it's challenging. So having an additional officer, I feel, would be helpful and give us the opportunity to be more proactive, to be able to check, more bathrooms and to set a better presence throughout the school.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's what I would have expected you to say. Probably a little different at the elementary schools. It's a little more contained and controlled. We're getting a new school at Cornelius.
I've heard about that, yes.
And I'm pretty excited about that. I think the design and configuration of our current school, which is not the school that I attended. It's one school before that. I'm really telling my age, right? So this one's going to be torn down. But as the new one is constructed, what kind of advice would you give CMS on what they need to do to make it as secure as possible?
I think it's huge granted, it's elementary school, but, with that being said, you have a lot of parents who walk their children into school.
Yes, you do. Particularly there.
Yes.
Well, probably at JV Washam
at JV Washam as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you never really know what parent might be upset at whatever teacher for their children doing whatever they did, and they get angry to the point where they feel like that the staff is not giving them what they want, and you never know what they can try to bring in or do. So I know at JV Washam we have camera systems that point outside, and they have to ring a bell to come inside. So little things like that will for sure help. I wouldn't say metal detectors is a big thing, but I guess you can never be too safe.
Well, that's what it all boils down to. I think we sometimes tend to be naive because we're sitting up here in a small town.
Right.
And I don't think we need to take things for granted, for sure.
Correct.
These times are very different.
Correct.
And that changes the scope of things, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be right back for our final segment. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we're about town with our School Resource Officers program. It's a great program.
There's more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, still some great weather for our Thursday. The low humidity hangs around for another day. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures will be comfortable, climbing into the mid-80s for the afternoon. As we get into Friday and into the weekend, the humidity comes back, as well as that low summertime-like chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Weekend, though, is in pretty good shape. Mid-80s, a little sticky, but most of your outdoor plans should remain dry. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Lang Tree Live in Mooresville continues their free Thursday concert series with the Rocky Lynn Band on August 15th. Rocky brings his original and patriotic country music performance to Lang Tree Lake Norman off exit 31 from I-77. Grab your lawn chairs, set up your spot on the grass, eat and drink at the restaurants and pubs of Langtree, and enjoy the Rocky Lynn concert Thursday at 7 p.m. RevFast in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. This monthly gathering for the car, truck, and motorcycle communities begins at 6 p.m. Food trucks and Hoptown Brewing will be on hand for eats and drinks. Bring your classic or new hot rod out and come make some new friends. RevFast Detail Shop in Mooresville presents Hot Rods and Hops on Friday night. The Cookout Monster Truck Bash is at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway this Saturday. Sparks will fly as the metal-bashing 2,000 horsepower machines return for a night of high-flying action on the planet's most diabolical outdoor course. Gates open at 4 p.m. Bring a Cookout Cup for a free early access to the pit party beginning at 3:30. Pit party includes monster truck rides, inflatable slides, bounce houses, face painting, an autograph session, and souvenirs. Opening ceremonies will begin at 7. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com or the CMS app for information and details. Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville rocks their parking lot this Sunday with a concert by Black Glass. Waves Entertainment brings their stage and sound to Ghostface for a show by Carolina's premier rock and roll cover band. The brewery will be open to serve their full kitchen and draft beer menus. Rock the Lot begins at 5 p.m. Bring your chairs for a good seat at the 6 p.m. Black Glass concert at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville this Sunday. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
And here we are, right back. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we've got some of our wonderful heroes from the Cornelius Police Department. I love having them on the show because they provide us a realistic and wonderful perspective about what's going on. There's a lot of great things going on within the Cornelius Police Department, but nothing better than our service to our community and our schools as community resources officers are provided in all 4 of our elementary schools here, thanks to some town funding that came your way in the last couple of years. So that was a big day. So there's probably ways that in really all of our schools, but particularly in our middle school and our high school, that we can do many proactive things to stay in front of it. And we were just talking at the break about, the Crime Stoppers program and just being aware of things. So I think there's probably some things in place. Officer Pat, how would you describe what's in place?
Absolutely. So there are definitely a couple options. I think it's important for parents to have those conversations with their students about things that they might see or hear about at school, and to create an environment where if a student felt uncomfortable about something, they would have an avenue or a way of reporting it, whether to a parent, staff member, administrator, or the SRO there on campus. In addition to that, you have the option of contacting the police department. I mean, you could just simply dial 911. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's an option. You also have the ability to contact the Crime Stopper hotline number. And then another one at the middle school and high school level that's offered through CMS is the Say Something app. And that's an application where it's on your phone, where you can go on and report suspicious activity anonymously. And there's no way, because a big challenge that we have at both the middle school and the high school is you'll have a student that doesn't want to be accused of being a snitch. So as a result of that, there's an unwillingness to come forth with information that, could be something that could affect the entire safety of the school. So that's something that we're always trying to educate the students, parents, and staff members about as different options to report suspicious or criminal activity.
So thank you for that. That was a good recap of some proactive things going on. So I suspect at every level in the school system, our elementary, our middle, and high school, there's an element of bullying type things that you see. How real is that?
Oh, it's real. It's definitely real.
Is it?
I mean, and some of them don't even try to hide it, honestly. And it's sad to say that, but I mean, it's reality. No matter how much you talk to them, sometimes it doesn't get through. And learning, was at the elementary school level, I come to realize that I also don't know what some of these kids are going through at home.
Sure.
So it's not just as simple as the element of this kid is a bully. It's, okay, what kind of attention are they getting at home? Or what kind of home life do they have? You know,
Right.
and so it's a different way to approach it. I'm pretty sure it's probably different for high school, like fairly similar-ish, but probably different because they're older and more things are kind of involved with that. But it's definitely a real thing. And
Yeah.
it's just a matter of different people figuring out how to get around it with that individual because it's not the same for all of them.
Yeah. So do you see as much of that in high school?
So and this is just based on my experience at both the middle school and high school level, I would say that the bullying is not so much in your face. It's more happening on social media. And it's possible that your son or daughter might be being bullied and right in your own living room without your knowledge. So I would just be mindful and recommend for parents to be proactive concerning what is being shared on social media. And then also to add to that, to question whether or not it's necessary for your 10-year-old, your 12-year-old to have access to all that social media has available.
Yeah, social media definitely fits into our culture now. It has some good things about it, and then some very damaging and detrimental things to not only kids but adults and the whole population, I think, of our country. So, but certainly things have changed as soon as social media came about.
Sure.
So that just kind of fuels what we're up against. So anyway, I do want to turn for just a minute to Officer Vinnie and what's coming up in and around town with our community efforts and our community engagement. I'm looking forward to going back to get another ice cream cone sometime. So,
yeah, definitely.
And I've had a chicken biscuit
That's
and
right.
all kinds. You guys do some great stuff around town.
Keep on coming.
Yeah, we really try, and I just have to say, it's not just the effort of one person. I mean, it's a group effort. As you can see, like we just had Cone with a Cop over at Carolina Cones, and we love the fact that the patrol officers come out, the lieutenants, the sergeants, these guys showed up here. So it's just so nice to see that, again, it's really a group effort. There's a lot of guys that come out to this, a lot of officers that come out to it, and the people love that. So, it warms my heart because I'm the one that, that try to coordinate these things and put them together, and having everyone show up just really, I can't thank them enough for that. So that's something that I just wanted to say. But so some of the things that we're really excited about this. Actually, tomorrow we have Cool Off with a Cop over. So that's
I won't be at that.
Come on, Mayor. Come
That's
on
right.
now.
That's right. So that's a fun event.
I've been there once.
I need some help.
Yeah.
So that's going to be over at Smithville Park at the Splash Pad. I think it's from 1 to 3. And, we're going to have ice pops for the kids and things like that. It's a nice way to kind of end the summer, and again, meet some of the officers. So that's something that's coming up on Friday. We have an event we do every year called Pack the Patrol Car.
Yes.
Which is a wonderful thing. We can't thank the citizens and the residents enough in town that they donate school supplies to all the 4 schools in town. So
it's incredible how much of a need there is for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing.
100%. Yep. And it's nice to see because, unfortunately there are families out there who can't really afford certain things and they can't, go out and buy all the supplies that they'd like to. But we try to do the best we can to have these families donate all these school supplies, and we have a ton of them that we are going to be delivering to each one of the schools next week, in preparation for the school year to start. So we're super excited about that. We have our Citizens Academy coming up, and that's going to be in September. We love that, and they love to come to Citizens Academy. It's, basically in a nutshell, it just gives the folks the behind the scenes about what a police officer does, what we do at the Cornelius Police Department. So, and we put them through a little mini training that we go through, and again, it's a way for us to build a relationship with them. It gets these people to really know each other. Our last Citizens Academy, they lived in the same neighborhood and didn't even know it.
Really?
Yeah, and it was fantastic. So now they became friends, and they, they want to do videos, and they want to help us, promote the next one. So our plan is to run 2 a year. I think we'll have enough people to do that.
I think you will. That's awesome.
Of course, we have the holidays that, before you know it, they'll be here. We do things for October, for Halloween. Of course, we have our adoptive family for the Christmas adoption program for the gifts. So we're going to be doing that. And one of the things that we're not going to stop doing ever is the community watch program. It's been fantastic. We've got 4 neighborhoods now, 5 neighborhoods that are on our program. We have those community watch signs going up all over town. It just lets people know you want to come into town and you want to rob some cars or steal some things, you better be careful because everyone's watching.
Yeah, exactly. I always tell folks, if you come to Cornelius and commit a crime, you're definitely going to get your picture taken too, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No doubt about that.
Yep. You'll get your picture taken, and we will catch up with you, and we'll give you a ride.
Exactly.
Down to Charlotte, right? But so that, that blue light initiative is something I really want to work on, and what that means is that as the patrol officers are going through the neighborhoods, they simply turn on their crew's blue lights, and blue lights always tries to deter crime. So, and the folks like it because they know that as they're sleeping, our officers are out there doing the best they can to keep the neighborhood safe.
Exactly. What about seniors? You do a lot for seniors too, don't you?
Yeah, we do the senior luncheon,
Yes.
Which we love. And at that senior luncheon, we talk about scams and alerts and frauds, things like that. We do the medicine drop, the shred event. Folks like to come out for that. But we are starting to do more with the seniors. We want to focus on kids and the seniors. Not that the middle folks aren't important, because they are, but these are the folks that really need help the most. And it's just simple as stopping, having a cup of coffee, chit-chatting with someone on the street,
right.
Or a coffee shop. And, these are the things that we want to do more and more. You had mentioned the Cane Center before. Actually, I have a lunch appointment with the director of the Cane Center at the end of the month. I would love to do something with the Cane Center. We should partner up and do an event there. Again, something with kids. I mean, they're a wonderful group of people there, and we can really get together with them and just do some fun events and plan something. So we've got that going on too.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure having you guys, and I'm so grateful to all of you.
Thank you.
I love our Cornelius Police Department. Yeah. It's a real source of pride for me as mayor. The almost 11 years I've served now, it's been an incredible ride for me. So
thank you.
So thank you for what you do. We will have you back.
Sounds good.
Thanks for listening today, and we will be back next week.
All right.
Serving you better than ever before.